Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Ed. Uh, Today, got a few little updates, and then what I would like to do is do a brief video or long video, depending on how long-winded I get, on creating a tackle frigate, a simple, very simple tackle frigate. Why? Because I would like to over the weekend or next weekend get into what was that? Oh, that was probably my bonus. Um, there it is down there. Uh, I would like to start fleeting up like I talked about in yesterday's video. And the simplest thing that you can do as a smaller character is to be a tackle frigate. Almost just like exploration, within a very short period of time, you can start fleeting up and being a person who goes into tackle. I'll get into that here in a little while. Just some news and notes. I had wanted to do, I was at work yesterday and it dropped that the new Uprising update came out for Eve, or it's going to be coming out. And there's a great couple articles out there explaining it. And I wanted to make a video about it yesterday, but if you remember, I had my computer issues, and by now, there's a lot of videos out there, probably better than I would have ever made. So I watched a few of them, and basically the new update is focused mainly on faction warfare. Um, in general, you don't. The general gist I got of it was there's a couple ships that are going to be coming out. The general consensus is maybe that they're going to update some Edencom ships. Um, they are going to be doing an update to faction warfare. So if you're into that or want to get into it, maybe keep an eye out for that. There's a frontline thing that's going on. It's the first really, I think, major update they've done to that in a long time. There's a story arc, I guess, going along with it, which might be kind of interesting. Um, they're also going to be retrofitting some of the ships, so that maybe they're not upgrading. Oh, that's what it was. They're going to be making faction destroyers, I think, for the first time. These are just general things. If you want to catch some good videos, some people have actually posted videos up there where they're just reading the article, which is easier on me because I don't have to read the article. Um, Other ones, guy I really respect is Ace Face. He does some great videos. I have, as you notice, I haven't watched his video on it yet. I'll probably do that after I'm done here. Um, but he usually does some very good videos, so I'm interested in that. But if you want to check it out, please do. One other little bonus that's coming up with that is, I guess, well, there's a couple updates that are coming forward. I guess you're going to be able to take possibly your corporation insignia or your alliance insignia or colors and put them onto your ships, which is kind of cool, making it more personalized. I'm all about that. And it's weird because back in the day I didn't care about that sort of thing. Now I do. I like my skins. Um, but yeah, so check it out if you want to. I'm not going to bug you about that too much. The other negative, or the other thing that happened today was a couple weird things happened for me. My general manager and my second general manager uh, at my job announced that they would be leaving within the next 2 weeks. So that is going to drive things crazy. So I might be working a little bit more. And unfortunately, it looks like the Queen of England died today. So any of you guys that are out there in the United Kingdom, I'm sorry to hear that. Or if, I don't know how you feel about her, but it's never good to hear something like that. She lived a long and interesting life. So cool. I mean, that's not cool. What am I talking about? I'm sorry. Um, but enough about current events. Let's get into it. So remember earlier where I said some of the guys were just reading directly off web pages? Um, and for the update, well, I'm going to do almost the same thing. I did some searches for some, I was wanting to get some fits for some basic fleet ships that are tacklers. And I found a few, and I found one that was really basic. Normally I go with Eve University on these sorts of things, but this time I actually went with Brave Collectives. Um, where is it there? Oh shoot, I did want to talk. So I went with Brave Collective's tackling guide. because I thought it was really simple and quick to go with. If you want to check it out, you can just go to their site, bravecollective.com, their wiki. And I've never actually checked out their wiki, so maybe they got some other stuff here. Not sure. But really good site. I'm going to get into that here in a second. One other one I wanted to bring up before I get into the tackling, I completely forgot about this. I apologize. I watched another video today at lunch, and this was actually a pretty good video. Now, I actually skipped to the end because I wanted to get his take on it. This fellow here, Glory Gaming, uh, he put this video out back in August, so about a month ago, and he goes through and tries, I think, MMOs to see if they're older MMOs sometimes and see if they're worthwhile to keep playing. And he goes through the new player experience of each MMO or program and gives a pro and a con on it. So as you can see here, it's only about an 8-minute long video. He went through the whole new player experience that Eve has been touting really well since the Eve Fest, and I actually haven't done it, but I've heard good things. And he had some really good points, so I thought I would just hit those real quick and then get into the tackling side of it. So, if you're trying to get new players to come in, I would push them toward doing the intro. It's been getting really good reviews. Now he says his three pros for it is it has a really gripping intro, especially the cinematics on it. This always bugs me. It's the great character creator. Um, who cares? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's cool. I like making my characters. But after a little while, you barely ever see them unless you pull up a portrait. So this is fitting. And I've heard nothing against him. You can make your face and everything the same way, but very rarely will you ever see your face unless you're on different things. So that's all right. And then there were some effective tutorials. So I guess the new player experience does do a pretty good job of that rather than just kind of throwing you out there. They did upgrade the career agent, so that's cool. His negatives, and this is kind of what I want to hit on because maybe it might help us. Oh, there's a little bit more here. Sorry. Ah, shoot. No, 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 no. Okay, I guess I got to play this, but I'm going to put it in volume down. There we go. It's got a commercial. 5, 4. We're going to skip you. Who are you? I don't know what that commercial is. Oh, it's probably for solar. Whatever. There we go. Oh, there were two more. So an above average voice acting. So that is new to Eve. And hopefully they keep adding on to that. And immersive visuals. Now you know how I love me some galactic stuff going on, and it's why I want to get a new computer and upgrade slowly so I can make a lot of pretty things happen. So yeah, definitely there. Now the negatives here. Let me see if I can scroll here too. I think he only has 3, but they're very, very important. And I really felt like this was something that we as players can help new players uh, kind of grapple with. I'm talking about very new players, players who are just jumping into it. So the regular first-person shooter drops. So not too sure what he meant by this. This is not a first-person shooter, and if you try to do the first-person shooter visual, it sucks. So I'm not sure anything we can do with that. The menu clicking simulator, I like that. There's so many menus in Eve. And if there is something out there that we can create videos of or just help people get to, I also know that there is the tutorial. I can't think of the actual word with it, but you can create it so that it will point to different spots to teach people how to do different things. So maybe down the road I'll get into that, but that's something that we could help fellow new players get into. Um, and then the intro cutscene better than the game. That's CCP's part, other than the fact that we could kind of play it up a little bit, push it out there, and then as somebody starts doing it, get them into the game quickly. While I'm not saying we can do anything about the cutscene being in, if you look at almost any startup game, it's going to have a better intro than the actual game. I'm sorry, it's going to. Um, but if we can get help new players get out there and start seeing the cool things that are out there and get them immersed into the actual visuals in the game and the fleet battles and things like that. Maybe we can keep some more players in the game versus losing them because they get inundated with the menu clicking or not knowing where to go. So that's kind of what my channel's trying to be about, is just more so staying in the positives. And if anybody else can do that, please do. So this is a really good kind of video, and I might watch it for some other videos, see if there's any other games I want to play. I don't have the time to play anything else. So let's get into tackling, because I've already been talking too much. 1 second. So I'm going to be 100% cheat here. I'm going to use the Brave Collective's website as a uh, as a as a um, roadmap to explain tackling to anybody out there that hasn't done it. Or just like I was saying I actually hired on a new ambassador, a trainer for my department today, and I explained to him, sometimes you already know how to do something, but you go to a training class and you remember and you get forced into a training class of something you already know how to do. But you actually remember some things that you've forgotten in that class. So maybe this helps out some of you guys that are out there. So now I'm not going to read it word for word, but I am going to use a lot of the wording here. Thank you very much, Brave Collective, for putting this out there. I just found it was really cool. A little history on Brave Collective. If I remember correctly, they were originally started as a new player, really, really, really focused on new player um, experiences. They've grown a lot larger than that, but they still accept a lot of new players that are out there. I've never really worked with them very much, but I've heard good things. I think they're currently in a big war going on right now, though. So, but uh, long story, I actually want to read this first part word for word because I thought it was really, really good. And then a lot of the other stuff here, I'll just um, uh, cut down. I can't think of the word. I always do this whenever I've been working for like 12 hours and I come in here. Sorry. So, what is tackling? The description is, tackling is a term used in Eve to describe pinning an enemy ship so that it can't escape. I'm not going to read it where I'm going to fill in some stuff here. So long story short, you're in a fleet, you've got some battleships, some cruisers, or a whole fleet doctrine, but none of them, and you've warped in on another fleet. Um, Now, the only way that you can keep other people from flying away is either shooting them quickly or tackling them, and that is by using a warp disruptor or a warp scrambler. We'll get into that later. So, as a brand new player, somebody can very quickly become important because they're the ones that are holding people down. Think of like the Lilliputians and them throwing all of the strings over the top of um, uh, Gulliver. That's what a tackler is in a way. They're small things that are holding things down so the big guys can beat them up. Um, Being small, it can put you at a disadvantage, and that's where I really want to hit this video real quick. Now, this may be a part one and part two because there's a lot of really good info on this page. I'll start reading more here. So, tackling is the term used in Eve to describe pinning an enemy ship down so it can't escape. This allows the rest of the fleet to move in and kill it. The tackler does this rapidly approaching an enemy ship, scrambling its warp drive so it cannot warp, then using a web of fire to reduce the subwarp speed. So in other words, the frigate flies in, holds him down so he can't warp away, and then does a web of fire to even slow his speed, so it makes it even harder for him to get away. Why is that important? Because it makes him a better target for your fleet of guys who are trying to hit him. Um, because of this, it is one of the most important roles of new pilots. On the other hand, it's a hard role to play properly. Securing kills for the fleet without losing your ship is something that only experienced players can achieve. I have not fleeted up a whole lot. Back 8-10 years ago, I did try some tackling, and I swear every single time I did it, I was able to hold a guy down, but I died. And the rest of the guys got to fly off and kill some more stuff, and I had to go track them down. So you can start off very quickly and be helpful, but if you get better and better at it, you can keep going with that fleet and not die. So this I think is actually very important. I'm going to show you guys this and maybe go through each one here. Um, good. They've got some essential skills and then some novice skills here that you should have for each. And I'm going to go through each one here. Let's see how much time I got. Maybe I'll make this a part 2 for tomorrow. So I don't want this to go too long. We're at 15 minutes. We'll go for 30. I'll hit the skills and I'll look at it again. I even have a link here for Eve University and a tackling guide, so check that out too. So the first part is something that I've already done. It's skilling up into racial frigates and being able to be at least at level 2. Only one is required, but you should train all eventually. The Brave Collective uses Galente, but it's whatever it is. So you want to get into each frigate. If you remember correctly here, we're going to go to Spaceship Command. There it is. And notice I have Galente frigate, Amar frigate. So back a month ago when I set all this up, now I can jump into these ships if I want to. The second one is CPU Management 2, Navigation 2, Propulsion Jamming 1, and Afterburner 1. Now I can tell you I'm 99% sure I've got CPU management. This is another one here that a lot of people don't, I'd never used enough of, is CPU management. I'm actually already at going for level 5 at some point because I did the Magic 13 and I've got those already set up in here. So I'm in great shape there. They want a CPU management of 3. I'm already at a 4. Navigation. So navigation, and this is a good, saying that should be a good one. Navigation, I'm already at a level 4. Why is that important? It helps my sub warp speed. So basically, I can get to them quicker to lock them down. They're asking for at least a 2. I've got it at a 4. So nice setup already. Propulsion jamming. I don't think I have this one set up because I wasn't in. If you're going to fly in fleets, you should. Oh, I do have a level 1. So level 1 at least. Maybe I'll look at that later on. Look at that. I've almost got my drones level 5 ready to roll. Nice. Let's look at propulsion jamming real quick. What are the bonuses of getting it above 1 level? 5% reduction to warp stasis capacitor need. I don't think I need that a whole lot right now. Maybe down the road. Afterburner level 1. I can almost guarantee that I've got Afterburner. I think you get like more than level 1 to start off with. I'm at a 3, so I'm good there. If you're wondering, I'm just reading this straight off what they have here. CPU, blah, blah, blah. So the next area here, navigation. These are all the skills that you should have to be a basic, just a basic tackler. Navigation. Oh, I already said I had a level 2. Now I'm at level 4. I'm good there. Afterburner, level 4. I can only go to level 3 being a uh, alpha pilot. So we got it up as high as we can. Sorry, I can't do it anymore. High speed maneuvering, very important. I'm pretty sure I've got that pretty good. They're asking for just a 1 of this. I've got it at a 1. What does this do? Reduction in micro warp drive capacity usage per skill level. Might upgrade that later on. You're going to see there's 2 different types of tackle ships. There's an afterburner tackle ship and a micro warp drive tackle ship. And we'll get into both of those, whether it be this video or the next one. Mechanics. Mechanics is actually very important. Mechanics. If I can spell mechanics. I used to live in a town called Mechanicsburg, for Christ's sakes. I can't spell mechanics. Sweet, I'm at level 4. They're only asking for level 1. I am 100% sure I've got hull upgrades, but we're just going to double check. It's always good to double check. Hull upgrades level 3. They're asking for level 1. Good, good. What does that one do? I didn't even do what the hull upgrades. 5% bonus to your armor hit points. Both of these, the mechanics does structure, if I'm not mistaken. These will help you tank some of those hits that they're trying to hit you with. Very important. Now that I've got them up a little bit higher level, I'll be able to last a little bit longer. Signature analysis. These might be some of the most important. Signature analysis. Now they're asking for a level 4. As an alpha, I can only go to level 3. This is very important for a tackler because it speeds up your targeting. The faster you target, the faster you can tackle. So let's say your fleet warps in, you swing in to try to tackle, that guy turns to go. If you're not targeting him faster, he might be able to warp out. So you want to target, the faster you can target, the faster you can put that lock on. And then warp drive operation. What does that one do? I should know this. We're asking for a 2. Capacitor reduction for need for initiating warp physical level. Okay, I got it at 2. Not a big deal. All right. So those are the skills that you should have for a tackler. Now there's 3 types of tackling ship. 4, I'm sorry, 4 tackle ships that are out there that you can do. And uh, basically that first set of skills that I had, and I'm just going to pull this up here so you can see it. That initial set of skills here um, points out that you can go any one of the racial frigates, Amar, Caldari, Galante, Minmatar. If you go with something else and as a first-time player, it's going to cost you too much money. Um, uh, Now, the second set of skills here sets a skill to allow you to fly a speedy T1 frigate by the chosen race. So these are your 4 major tackle frigates, and I'll show you why those are it. We're going to use, I'm going to go with the Galante one. Why? Because they're using it here. I'm not going to say that's the best one. I've flown some executioners just to shoot things with, and some condors. I kind of like the condor. We're going to go with the condor. I like the condor. It's kind of like kind of Star Warsy, or it's got that not Star Wars. Got that kind of expanse look to them. So I could see that in there, or Last Starfighter-ish. So um, we're going to go in and we're going to find our ship tree. And we're already in Caldari. So this is your Condor. I'm going to pull this up. Why is it important? Because it gets bonuses. Now the big one here is not the light missile or rocket damage. We are all focused on propulsion jamming. And it gets an 80% reduction in propulsion jamming systems activation cost. Why is that important? Because you need to keep that sucker locked in. You need to, and propulsion jamming actually costs a lot of capacitor to do. So this 80% reduction is really big. And only having a level 1 in a frigate will get you that full 80%. Whereas the missile bonuses and rocket bonuses here are by level. You'll always have that 80% there. Now, every one of these major factions has one of these. We'll just take a quick look at the, for the Amar, the Executioner as an example. Right there, it's got the 80% propulsion jamming, exact same thing. It has different bonuses because this is an Amar ship to the things it shoots with. So it's got bonuses to the small energy turret. But we're going to go with Caldari. Why? Because we can. And then what I'm going to try to do here is simulate the ship. There we go. So we got that up here. I'm going to use this. Oh, I just minimized what I didn't want to. So let's take a quick look at it. You've got your 3 rig slots. You've got 4 high slots, 4 mid slots, and 2 low slots. Why is this important? Let me just show you here. I'm going to go back over to the executioner that we were talking about earlier. It's going to be different, I can almost guarantee. Yep, see how this one has its 4 high slots. These are all guns. 3 mid slots, 3 low slots. Now, why is that important? Well, number one, you're going to get that tackle bonus. If you're tackling, you're not too worried about doing damage. So your high slots are probably your least important, but they will be important. Your mid slots are normally for shields, and your low slots are normally for armor. Now, your low slots are also sometimes used to increase your speed or agility, um, whereas your mid slots here are used for your tackling. This is where your disruptor or scrambler goes, and your webifier would go here. Plus, it's also your module, whether it be a warp drive or a micro warp drive or an afterburner. So I'm going to show you an example here, then we're going to switch back over to the Condor because it has 4 and 2. Great example here is I would have to put in my micro warp drive, and then I would have to put, because you have to tackle something, I have to put in a disruptor or a scrambler, so it only leaves me one slot here, and I have to decide, do I want to webify, or do I want to use something else in this slot? Most of the time you're going to be webifying people. So since that happens down here, you got to make the choice, am I going to armor tank, or am I going to speed tank? And speed tank also goes with agility. So that's there. Let's exit that simulation. We go right back over to the Condor, and this is where it'll be a little bit more. Hopefully I'm not going too fast through this. Remember I was saying earlier, you have your slots up here, your high slots. They're not your most important, but you might use them. But the big difference here is they're missile-based versus gun-based. So you can't put any guns on the ship. You've got to go with missiles. Probably some rockets, if you do even use them. But this is where you run into a big question here. And this is my initial impression. But remember earlier I was saying you need to have uh, your disruptor or your scrambler. So you need one slot for that no matter what. And you're going to need a prop mod, a propulsion mod, either a micro drive or a micro warp drive or an afterburner. But it still leaves you 2 slots here. So you can still go with a webifier. Then if you want to, that 4th slot, you can try a little bit of shield tanking. You could try something else. And then down below here, you can maybe put in either some agility fits, but you've only got 2 slots here, or you could do some damage control and maybe something to upgrade your shields or something along those lines. A lot of bonuses that you can do. So it all depends on which type of ship you feel like you can do better. And what I'd like to do, now that I'm thinking about this more, is I'm going to look at the website a little bit more. So in general, that's the general gist of it. Maybe tomorrow I might do a part 2. Let's see what else they got here, because I think there's a lot of other great information here. Yeah, see, they've got the modules here. I gave a brief um, setup for it. I'll do a part 2 tomorrow, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on tonight on going over an afterburner frigate fit and a micro warp drive frigate fit. These are very basic fits that almost anybody can get into. Notice the ones here. I want to take some time and try to explain that sort of thing. And then down here, they've got a very nice setup explaining the methods of how you actually tackle and what you're looking for. I really like this first part here. If you want to read up on it, if you don't really like my voice, you just read the stuff, please feel free to go to their website. I think this is a great little web page. I know there's other ones you go to. There's the Wiki Eve University Tackling, and then some other things. And there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there that explain it. Um, if I get you interested in doing this, I'm going to be doing this. Hopefully I can join a fleet either this weekend or next weekend, and I'm going to try to record that if I can, or at least give you a rundown. I will not join a fleet unless, well, I will join any fleet that wants to fleet up with me if I have the time, but I will not record unless everybody in that fleet is cool with me recording because I don't want, I, you know, it's just a cool thing to do. Um, but I can at least give you a heads up as to what happened if I can't record it. So that's what I got tonight. Like I said, today was a long day with all that information from work. It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. I really like my general manager, and she's going to be leaving. And my senior manager, she's doing a great has done a great job. So I'm hoping they're happy and moving on to wherever they're going on to. But crazy stuff. Life is crazy. Um, Alrighty, well that's about it. Um, is there anything else? I don't think I got much. Yeah, we got the tackling, we got the fun is Eve for new players. I think there was some other stuff. Check out the information on the new update. I know they put a lot of time in it, and it may be that next phase for Eve. I think they're really pushing the PvP side of it. So, alrighty, guys. Well, fly safe, fly dangerous. I wish I had more for you. I got to do my catchphrase now. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however like you want. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.